Hello, hello, and welcome to day one of this nervous system mini course. I'm so excited to be here sharing this information and these practices with you. The intention of this offering is for it to truly be a mini course. So I have a tendency to get very passionate and excited and long-winded when I talk about this stuff, but my intention is for each lesson each day to be between 15 and 30 minutes. So this is small, digestible education and information and small, digestible, easily implementable practices for you to be able to integrate into your daily life when you are feeling triggered or dysregulated. So thank you for being here. Also, big welcome to the Healing Happens community. So I'm so excited about this brand new free community space. This is going to be a brilliant opportunity for people to get introduced to my work, to learn about the nervous system, and to get access to practices that can make a huge difference in your life, all completely free. So I'm really excited that you're here. If you have not already, please make sure that you join our Facebook group. That is where I will be answering questions, receiving feedback. If you have any insights or anything that comes throughout the course of our time together this week, that is the space to share it. And that's where I will be checking and responding. Of course, you all have my email address. So if something comes up that feels like very personal, that you want to share just with me, you're more than welcome to reach out via email, but the Facebook group will be our primary headquarters. I also realized that I should probably introduce myself since a lot of you are new to my work. I got excited about the material, but I'm just gonna pause and take a step back and just say hello. My name is Elsa Karinki. I am a breathwork facilitator, a Karuna Reiki master. I teach yoga, I guide yoga nidra meditation, and I'm currently a somatic experiencing student. So I've begun the 3-year journey towards becoming a somatic experiencing practitioner, and I'm very, very, very excited about that journey and what it's going to mean for my ability to better serve my clients. But I am really about all things somatic healing. So the idea that trauma is stored in the body, not the mind. And so we have to go into the body in order to heal trauma, in order to learn how to self-regulate. And I really truly believe that healing our early childhood trauma is the key to living a life of freedom, peace, joy, authenticity. And many of our maladaptive patterns that continue to plague us in our lives as adults, they were adaptive at some point. So we had to learn how to survive the environments that we have been in that have brought us to this point. So I want to start first and foremost by saying that your body has a 100% track record when it comes to trauma, because success from my standpoint and the standpoint of somatic experiencing when it comes to trauma is survival. So sometimes we have a tendency to get really frustrated by our trauma responses, like the way that we interact in relationships as adults, because yes, these patterns don't necessarily serve our highest good now. However, we have to keep in mind that these patterns, these ways of relating, were developed in order for us to survive our early childhood environment and then every environment we've been placed in since then. So success equals survival. And if you are here listening to this video, just take a pause and maybe take a breath, just like a big breath of gratitude for your body and all that it has navigated so far, all that it has carried you through, all that you have survived through. And also reminding your body that, maybe those patterns and those ways of relating are not necessary anymore. And you can slowly over time heal that trauma and replace those maladaptive patterns with tools and techniques that really do serve you. So that's what we're going to do this week. So I'm excited to be with you. Welcome to my work. Welcome to this community. Welcome to this nervous system mini course. I'm so excited you're here. Let's get right to it. So, my intention each day is that we are going to start with some sort of breath practice. Some of these will be more activating to the sympathetic nervous system. Some will be more activating for the parasympathetic nervous system. I'll teach you what that means later this week if you don't already know. Then we will do a little bit of sensation tracking, and then we will move into the lesson of the day. Like I said, the lessons are going to be short and digestible. So today, I'm going to share with you just an incredibly simple, accessible pranayama practice. You're more than welcome to do this with your eyes open or your eyes closed. I prefer to close my eyes. It helps me tune into my body a little bit more to limit sensory information coming in from the outside. But if for any reason it doesn't feel safe to close your eyes, or you're out and about or something like this, you're more than welcome to leave them open. So you don't have to go too crazy with the posture, but just kind of, as you close your eyes down, just begin to notice the way you're sitting. Maybe you're laying down for this. You can also totally do that. And feel your sit bones on the earth beneath you. Feel your spine grow tall. And at first, just simply notice sensations in your body. What do you notice inside? We're not going to spend too much time here because it can be pretty activating for some people to slow down and notice what's going on inside. But just for like 3 to 5 breaths, just start to notice, tune in. And we're going to begin with a technique known as 4-4 breathing. Very simple, exactly what it sounds like. So we'll inhale for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4. Inhale for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, okay? So to seal your lips, we'll be breathing both in and out through the nose. Empty your breath out. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue on your own without my guidance. Count internally. And as you breathe, just notice the subtle energetic differences between the inhale and the exhale. Really take the entire count of 4 for the inhale, the entire count of 4 for the exhale, even it out. Finish the round you're on, and then do 2 more full rounds. Take your time. And then when you're finished, release the count and just begin to breathe in and out through your nose in any way that feels effortless and easy. And as you take these last few breaths, again, notice what's happening inside. Notice sensation in your body. What do you feel? Where are you feeling it? And then tuck your chin down slightly, blink your eyes open. Bring your eyes up to the horizon line and just take a moment to gaze around your space. Just notice what's above you, behind you, below you. And then bring your eyes back to the screen. Okay, so you can feel free to share anything you would like in the chat, how that exercise was for you, what sensations you noticed, anything you'd like. And as you do so, I'm going to begin today's lesson. So today we're going all the way to the basics, the very foundation of the nervous system. So there are 2 primary parts of the nervous system. There is the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. So the central nervous system consists of your brain and your spinal cord. And then in my very fancy scientific language, I always say that the peripheral nervous system is everything else. So we have the brain and the spinal cord, and then all of the other neurons, all of the other nerve tissue that spreads throughout the rest of your body comprises the peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system, brain and spinal cord, peripheral nervous system, everything else. So information moves in 2 ways. Sensory information moves from the peripheral nervous system to the central nervous system, and the central nervous system to the peripheral nervous system. So of course, this is happening all day long, 24/7, 365. Your amazing, incredible body is sending information in both directions, completely unconsciously. So for example, if you put your hand on a hot stove, the sensory receptors in your fingers are going to register hot. and is going to send that message to the central nervous system, the brain, the spinal cord. And then your brain and your spinal cord, the central nervous system, will mount a response to that, which is, you know, the motor neurons will move your hand. So how does this really impact healing, trauma, things like this? So I first want to mention that the pathways that run from the body, so the peripheral nervous system, to the central nervous system, in SE, we really think about this as the body to the brain. Those are called afferent pathways. Then the pathways that move from the brain to the body are called efferent pathways. So it's just one letter difference. This is one of those things that I constantly have to look up because I can never keep them straight. I've learned this a million times and I'm super familiar with this process, but it always gets me because the words are exactly the same. But I actually looked up a good little tool for this, which is the afferent pathways. You can think of afferent arrives. So like arrives at the central hub. The efferent pathways exit the central hub. So that actually has helped me quite a bit to learn this. So afferent arrives at the brain, the spinal cord, the central nervous system, and efferent pathways exit the central nervous system. And so they used to believe, which is not shocking considering in Western culture, we glorify the brain so much. And, you know, I'm never going to say that the brain is bad or evil. Our brains are incredible, amazing. And our prefrontal cortex, you know, and our ability for executive functioning, higher reasoning, logic, all of this is largely what separates us from other species. And, you know, helps us to stand out and makes us special. However, there are many parts of our brain that are still very primal. And when we're talking about the nervous system and regulation and trauma, we are largely speaking about those primal parts of the brain. And so, you know, because Western science and, you know, just Western culture in general, and like as technology advances, we glorify the brain so much, it's not surprising to me that they used to believe that majority of the information was moving from the brain to the body as opposed to the body to the brain. So in other words, they used to believe that about that majority of the information was moving through efferent pathways, brain to body, less through afferent pathways, body to brain. However, more and more research recently has shown that the opposite is true. And it's a pretty stark opposite. It's 80% of the sensory information moving through your system is moving from the body to the brain. Only about 20% is moving from the brain to the body. This is huge because this really points to the fact that we have to heal through the body. 80% versus 20%. And so if we can use our body in our healing, that is going to be a very, very powerful way of completely reprogramming our nervous system, changing our brain chemistry, all those kinds of things. So for today, I just want to lay this foundation that the central nervous system is the brain and the spinal cord. The peripheral nervous system is all the other nerves throughout the body, aka everything else. And information is being passed all day long between the central and the peripheral nervous systems, with most of the information coming from the brain, from the body to the brain versus the brain to the body. And so this is very powerful evidence that we have to heal through the body, which I will be getting into later this week. So I hope that you use 4-4 breath in your day-to-day life. It's one that I reach for very often. It's just so simple and accessible. You don't have to do like anything crazy with your arms. You don't really have to be in any specific posture. I mean, you could do that breath literally walking through the grocery store or, at the Thanksgiving table with your family if you're feeling a bit dysregulated. And it just helps balance your energies. And it has a bit of a calming, grounding effect. So practice 4-4 breathing, practice tracking sensation in your body. That's a huge part of the healing process. Even though it sounds very simple, it's something that many of us, especially if we have experienced trauma and we feel pretty disconnected from our bodies or betrayed by our bodies, anything like this, it can be actually very difficult and confronting to tune into what's happening inside. So go really slow with that and notice if it takes you out of range. I will talk more about that later this week, but just kind of notice what happens within you when you start to focus your attention inside. And just really consider that the body holds the key. The most like famous book in this space is The Body Keeps the Score, and that's really true. So that is good news for us. The body is a self-healing mechanism, and through these pathways, we can heal ourselves. So just notice what sensory information your body is picking up and sending through to your brain, and then also observing your brain's reaction to that information. So I will see you again tomorrow, same time, 12:30. On Wednesday, you will have a pre-recorded video, so that's the only time that we will not be meeting live. But I'm really excited for this journey to unfold. Please drop your questions in the Facebook group if you're watching this via the recording, and see you same time, same place tomorrow. Mwah.